All right, so for our catapult, we are going to need 10 regular size popsicle sticks. We're going to need about 16 elastics. If you're making this from a summer reading kit from the library, then you probably will notice you have an extra, you know, just in case things do break. And 2 bigger popsicle sticks and a spoon. If you don't have any of these bigger popsicle sticks, you can also use pencils. But you do want them to be a little bit longer than your regular popsicle sticks. So to start out, we are going to take our 2 big popsicle sticks and we're going to take 2 of the smaller ones and we're going to put one over and one under the big popsicle stick. And this kind of gives it a little more sturdiness. And we are just going to take an elastic and we're going to wrap that around a whole bunch of times. Until we have like a number 7 if it's backwards, or an L if it's upside down. And we're going to do that again on the other side. I do find it's easier to go over the long part a couple of times first and then go over the short part. And so now we've got a C. We're going to take our other one and scoot it in between right here. And again, we're going to go over the long part a few times and then kind of tuck it back into place. And then we'll go over this short part. And for this one, what I did is I actually you want to tuck this around at least once and then put it right in between. So we've got a square, kind of make sure that's squared up, and then you kind of can only do that once because now your square is closed, so that way, and then we'll just wrap it this way a whole bunch of times. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so now we've got our square. So now we're going to take 2 more of our shorter popsicle sticks and we're just going to connect them at the top. Now you want to do this a whole bunch of times, but not too tight. You want to be able to open it up like this. So like that. Ouch, watch out for splinters. And we're going to do that again. And open them up. There we go. So now we've got 2 of these. And what we're going to do first is we're going to take 3 of our elastics. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to put these around the middle of our base. So this, now we've got like kind of a, what are we going to call this? An H or an 8. We're going to take our last popsicle stick and tuck it right in between. See how it fits right in between? And now, so mine is just going to touch on both ends, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start spinning it. We're going to spin and spin and spin until you get some really good torsion on that elastic. And then you think you've spun it enough times, just kind of scoot it forward, just like so, so that it locks onto here. Ooh, there we go. All right. So our next step, we're going to take our 2 V's, upside down A's, and we are going to put them on the outside of our base. And so you're going to start with 1 and just wrap it around a whole bunch of times. so. Uh-oh. Yep, and that will happen. So if it's slipping out, just push it down a little bit farther. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull it over to the other side and do the same thing. Oh, sorry. Pull it over to the side and do the same thing. Make sure I'm still in frame here. Like so. So I'm going to push one of these up because I actually do need a little bit more of a V, little notch right here at the top. And so this one looks pretty good already. So I'm going to take this one, turn this around. I'm going to put this one on the outside. Again, we're just going to do the same thing on this side. And pull. Oh, I'm at a funny angle here. This does get a little bit tricky. You get all these elastics together. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our frame. And before we put our last popsicle stick on top, we have to find it. This one's a little bent, but it'll do. And we're gonna tuck it right in between so it kind of rests on these two in the V at the top. Important thing. First, pull this up. Oops, it's too long. So we're gonna pull it down a little bit farther so that we've got just a little bit here. And now, see, it doesn't upset the base when we turn it over. We're gonna pull it back and then rest these on top. So this is gonna be the arm of the catapult. It's tricky. All right, so now that we're resting here, we're gonna take elastics. Again, we're just gonna wind them around one side. We're gonna struggle a little bit. All right, I'm gonna do this one first. Just so that he's kind of stuck in place. And then I'm going to pull this over again and put the other side on. Now this is why it's important for you to have this much of a V, because you can see I don't really have enough space on the other side for this guy to rest, but it's going to work anyway. Hold it down. You might need a second pair of hands for this. This is tricky. There we go. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to slide that guy down just a little bit so that my outside pieces are standing straight. There we go, and that's our catapult. So the last step is to take our spoon, and we are going to line it up. You can tuck it into this elastic if you can, if it's not too tight, but you don't have to. Otherwise, just line it up right on top. So that the top of the popsicle stick is just at the base of the spoon. And we're gonna wrap around and around and around and around. This one doesn't want to lay flat. Try that again, maybe a little farther down. One more. I'm amazed this elastic hasn't broken. There we go. And so now that is our arm. So, a word of warning, please only soft objects with this. And especially if you've got younger brothers or sisters or pets in the house, you do want to be careful and never aim these at people's faces. But so we're going to pull this back and load it up with our pom-pom, and boom, there it goes. Have fun, stay safe.